Sister.
And Mama. Welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
Today we are covering the two-part OVA, Attack on Titan, No Regrets.
Finally! Now, again, this two-part OVA shows Levi Ackerman's life before joining the Survey Corps and how he ended up becoming the man the Titans fear most of all.
Yes.
And they should fear him.
They run. And before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and notification for this on future podcasts and multiple pause videos.
Absolutely. And this has been a long time coming. We saw it last year when it finally got dubbed. But this has been a long time coming, us wanting to cover it. So we want to give you a quick podcast and give it the love that it deserves. And on my channel, we are covering, or have covered by now, the manga.
With the same thing.
Yes. Attack on Titan, No Regrets. So if you want to hear more about that, there should be something attached on this podcast that you can watch as well.
Right.
So, as we mentioned, it was a 2-episode OVA, and they were directed by Tetsuro Araki and written by Yasuko Kobayashi, with animation by Wood Studio. Now, this was originally put out, it was really announced it was going to release in January 15 of 2016, and it came out in April of 2016 and August of 2016. And not until May of 2022 did they finally decide to give Westerners an English dub.
Yeah, that tells you.
And it was released by Funimation and Crunchyroll. So originally on Funimation, now it's on Crunchyroll and should be seen exclusively.
Right.
And that was starting on May 8th. And the great thing is we got a really great voice acting cast for the dub, including one of our favorites, Ryan Colt Levy, who voiced Farlon Church. Of course, the incomparable Matthew Mercer is Levi, and Isabel Magnolia was voiced by Christian McGuire, and J. Michael Tatum, is Ernest Smith. So we got a great cast.
Yes.
And the OVA, the animation is the same style as the regular Attack on Titan anime. But there were some differences they decided to do in the OVA. It's very different from the manga itself. We're not sure why, but we were a little surprised to see them.
Right. One of which was, but it took place in the first part. They decided to speed up some things. Like when you read the manga, it's only 2 volumes, so it's short anyway. We assumed that each volume was adapted in 1 episode. So in order to fit it in, they cut out a few things. And by that, when they're taken in by the corpse, there's a few points in there where you see how their lives are during that time, adjusting to actually living with other people. Levi kind of threatens anybody that bothers his friends, or just does them harm because they said something they shouldn't have. And a lot of that was actually cut out to just leave in the part where the place is filthy, he's got to clean it. So I guess they left it in for humor's sake.
So quickly what they did is they released it as 8 parts. The book 1 had 4 parts: The Wings, One Arrow, Of Revolution, and Proof, with a bonus prologue. And then the second OVA, or the second volume of No Regrets, had also 4 parts for the anime OVA. Hearts, Living Creatures, Those 3, and Choices. And they were released weekly for the dub from May 29th to June 5th, 2022.
Right. So, with that in mind, you can see how it would be kind of easy to put each chapter into 1 episode. And like I said, it must be the first 4 chapters in 1 OVA, and then the other 4 chapters in the second. And we explained out what was already cut out of the first one. I was like, okay, that can be forgiven. Maybe it's a little time consuming, not much happening, can just be done in a few panels. So it was okay they did that. But when it came to the second part, up until this point, it's been nearly 1-to-1 with the manga. If you read the manga, this is not a spoiler, but you haven't, there's a fair warning. To see how Levi ends up joining the corpse is when the 3 of them are out on their first trip outside to fight the Titans. They're hoping that they don't have to do it because they're still kind of rookies, and really Levi's the most talented out of the three of them. And they warn the two of them to don't fall behind. And if they do, just go back to the entrance. Don't try doing anything themselves. As it goes for one of the most oldest tropes in history, they don't listen, and they try to fight a Titan once they see one. And at first it looks like they actually beat it and they're gonna be fine. But there's others that come, and because Levi did not return in time because he assumed that they were going back, they're taken out by the Titans.
He assumed they would do what he told.
Right, and they were taken out, and he feels really horrible about it. You don't see it in his face, but you know he feels horrible about it. And after that, he feels there's no even use in being on his own, so he figures just join the corpse, and he had been even tricked a little bit, as it's revealed by Erwin. Well, in the anime, the whole reason for him joining has changed. Because he joined because it's like, well, since that was their dream, he would just kind of take that place for them. In the anime, it's been cut down to Levi just didn't pay attention. The Titans attack before he even leaves. And they get lost in a fog. And he barely has time to turn around when the Titans immediately attack and take them out. So instead of, they don't even get a chance to fight, they're just gone.
Right.
And then when Eren reveals that's all been a trick, Levi says there's no other choice. He has to join, like he's been blackmailed. So the anime changing ending to he was forced into the course because there was no other option. It's either that or die. When that was not the case. And the other being, they seemed like it was his fault that his friends died when it was on their own hands for not listening. So it kind of painted this in a whole different light just by changing the ending.
True. And we do know that in Japan it is commonplace to change the stories when they do adaptations. Sometimes they may have different versions out of the same story. We know that's common. So it looks like they decided to take that liberty here. I'm just very grateful that we got an English dub.
Right.
And we got to hear people that we really love. Ryan Cole Levy was fantastic.
Of course.
I was very excited. You know, we've been hearing Matthew Mercer and J. Michael Tatum all the time, so that was just a pleasure to our ears anyway in Attack on Titan. But to hear Ryan Cole Levy doing Furlong, that was just fantastic.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yes, and I'm just really grateful that they finally dubbed it, because fans like us have been waiting a very long time to hear it dubbed.
Right.
And it was a joy to hear it. And we got to see it and hear it on Crunchyroll, and the entire anime itself is available on Crunchyroll. The only thing we're missing now, guys, is the live action movie, which we know really doesn't have anything to do with the manga at all.
Right.
But we still are curious about how bad it is, or how interesting the story may be. You know, we could be wrong. It could be interesting, even though there's no Levi.
It's changed.
How the heck do you have an AOT with no Levi? There's no Levi, and then Eren Mikasa and the lovers, and they're in Japan. And it's just, and they're not in the war,
and it's like really run down, and Eren doesn't turn into a Titan until the next movie.
There's just so many differences, but I am truly grateful for the dubbing on this OVA. So if you guys have seen Attack on Titan OVA anime on Crunchyroll, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you love Ryan Cole Levy? We know you did.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. If you haven't seen it and you're an AOT fan, what is wrong with you? Get on Crunchyroll and watch it. If you haven't seen the Attack on Titan anime and you're kind of wondering, is this something I'm going to like? The OVA itself is a great way to introduce yourself to the franchise.
Yes.
It's short. You get the backstory on Levi, because he's going to end up being your favorite character.
At this
anyway,
point, yeah.
And watch the OVA and see if it's something you can get into. If you like the OVA, then go ahead and transition into into watching the first season of AOT. I think it's a brilliant way to get into the series if you already haven't watched it.
Right.
And come back and let us know what you think.
Right. And if you haven't already, subscribe for updates and weekly videos of favorite anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you so much. And we're so happy we finally got to bring a review of this OVA done, because we really were excited to see it, and we know some of you were too.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching Rascal Entertainment.
And at Mom Entertainment.
Have a tune-tastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights.